People often say that no contact, cutting off all communication with the narcissist, is the key to freedom. And yes, it is one of the most powerful steps you can take to reclaim your peace. But there is a truth few ever mention. No contact also carries the greatest hidden risk you may never expect. Because when the silence stretches too long, when you're no longer entangled in their daily manipulations, the memory of the pain begins to fade. And that's when your own mind can betray you. You may think you're strong enough to face them again. You may believe you've healed. And that is the most dangerous moment, when the old cycle can quietly open up once more. In today's video, I will show you the hidden risk of no contact, why it causes so many to think they've escaped only to fall back into the same familiar trap. And most importantly, you will learn how to preserve your freedom while never being pulled back again. If you've ever faced a narcissist, this is the message you need to hear today. Subscribe to the channel and stay until the end of this video, because the truth you're about to discover may completely change the way you look at no contact and help you protect yourself forever. When stepping out of a narcissistic relationship, many people believe that no contact, cutting off all communication, is the ticket to escape suffering. And yes, in many cases it is a wise decision. But today I want you to see another angle, a truth few dare to mention. No contact also carries the greatest risk, and if you don't understand it clearly, you may unwittingly reopen the door for the narcissist to return. 1. The two paths after the breakup. Imagine two scenarios. Scenario 1. You're decisive. You block every phone number, email, and social media account. In the first month, you go through grief, loss, and longing. But afterward, without the threatening texts, without midnight calls, you feel as though you've just woken up from a nightmare. The sky seems blue again. You breathe in relief, believing you are free. Then 6 months later, a message pops up. Hi, it's been a while. How have you been? Just a few words, yet your heart races. You think, I'm stronger now, I've healed. What harm is there in replying once? And with just one small reaction, you've opened the door again. Why? Because for half a year, there has been no new reminder of how cruel this person once was. The old pain fades, leaving only fragments of pleasant memories. That gap allows the illusion of euphoric recall to slip in. You believe you're immune, but in truth, you're standing right in front of the most dangerous trap. Scenario 2. You cannot go fully no contact. Maybe you share children, maybe there are family ties, or maybe circumstances simply don't allow it. You still receive messages, still see them, still face accusations and victim playing theatrics. At first, you feel exhausted, maybe even worse than when you were still in the relationship. But day after day, you begin to see clearly. They have not changed. They still manipulate, still blame, still twist the truth. And this constant exposure shatters your illusions. You no longer dream that they'll be different one day. You no longer idealize the past. You see their raw nature not once, but repeatedly. And each time, you grow more alert, stronger, and more immune. 2. Why no contact can become a double-edged sword. No contact is often praised as the antidote after leaving a narcissistic relationship. Without the blaming texts, the midnight calls, or their suffocating presence, you feel like you've finally taken off a heavy suit of armor. In the first months, you truly feel lighter and more peaceful. But here lies the deepest paradox. Prolonged silence can become fertile ground for illusions to return. When you're no longer in frequent contact, your memories begin to shift. The human brain has a natural tendency to blur pain in order to protect itself. Time dulls the images of the arguments, the cruel messages, the days you cried yourself to sleep. And instead, those rare sweet moments, those fleeting warm memories, begin to rise as though they were the truth. This is the most insidious trap. 6 months, a year, even longer after going no contact, the narcissist suddenly reappears. They don't need to apologize. They don't need to prove they've changed. Just one simple message. How are you? A like on social media, or a chance meeting in public, is enough to knock on the door of memories you worked so hard to lock. In that moment, a part of you might whisper, "I'm stronger now, I've healed. Maybe this time I can handle it." But that is only an illusion. What you're relying on is not the raw truth of who they are, but a memory blurred and edited by time. That's why no contact can become a double-edged sword. One edge is freedom. Yes, it frees you from daily toxic scripts. But the other edge is forgetting. It makes you romanticize the past, fall into the trap of "they've changed," and give them another chance to walk back into your life. You must understand this. Narcissists do not change simply because time has passed. They only change their tactics, finding new ways to reach for the energy you once gave away unconsciously. And if you let sweet memories obscure the painful reality, you will again become a victim of the very silence you thought was salvation. That is why, when you choose no contact, remember, silence is only the first step. The most important step is nurturing awareness. Remember the reason you left. Keep the evidence of your pain, the messages, the journals, the conversations with friends. Remind yourself daily, you didn't leave because you were weak, you left because you deserve a love that is genuine and kind. When you do that, no contact is no longer a double-edged sword. It becomes a firm declaration: I have walked away and I will never go back. 3. The unexpected advantage of those forced to stay in contact. There is a paradox few people ever consider. Those who cannot go fully no contact, those who are forced to maintain some level of contact with the narcissist, sometimes actually hold the greater long-term advantage. Sounds hard to believe, doesn't it? After all, everyone assumes the farther away you are, the quieter it is, the better. But let me show you the truth from another angle. When you share children, have family ties, or circumstances simply don't allow you to cut off all contact, you will face them repeatedly after the breakup. You still have to read the accusatory messages, still have to hear the blame, still have to witness the staged victim acts designed to make you feel guilty. In the beginning, yes, it drains you. It even hurts more than when you were still in the relationship, because now the cruelty is no longer hidden, it shows itself raw and relentless. And yet, this repeated exposure becomes the strongest antidote. Every sarcastic message, every meaningless loud call, every attempt to pull you back into the old cycle, all of it is living proof that they haven't changed. You don't need to remind yourself. You don't need to imagine. Reality itself keeps telling you, this is why you left. And when the truth presents itself over and over, your illusions dissolve. You no longer dream that one day they'll be different. You no longer romanticize the past to justify your wounds. You see clearly it was never love, only control dressed up in a few fleeting sweet moments. In that environment, you build for yourself a kind of emotional antibody. Every time they repeat an old trick, you become more immune. Every time they demand control, you grow stronger at maintaining boundaries. And eventually, their return no longer shakes you, it only stirs weariness or even indifference. This is an advantage those who go full no contact sometimes lack. Because when painful memories fade, it's easier for them to forget the narcissist's true nature. Meanwhile, those who are forced to stay in contact, though they suffer more at first, are constantly reminded that the illusion is over. So if you're in a situation where you must maintain contact, don't think of yourself as disadvantaged. In fact, the daily raw reality is training you. It's making you wiser, more resilient, and most importantly, far less likely to be pulled back than anyone else. Because once you've seen all the masks, all the tactics, all the staged performances, there's nothing left to idealize, and that is true freedom. 4. The core. Awareness and active memory. You may go full no contact. You may limit contact to the bare minimum. But remember, silence is not the destination. It is only a tool. If you rely solely on distance to keep yourself safe, you risk falling into the trap once your memories begin to fade. The deeper, more important element is cultivating awareness and maintaining memory actively. The human brain has a unique defense mechanism. It often blurs painful memories so that you can move on. Useful in many cases, but for those who've been through a narcissistic relationship, it becomes a double-edged sword. When pain fades, you begin to recall their smiles, the rare sweet gestures, the moments that convinced you they once truly loved you. And from there you can slip back into the illusion, maybe I was too harsh, maybe they've changed. This is when you need active memory. Instead of letting your brain select memories in a biased way, you must deliberately remind yourself of the whole truth. Write journals about your darkest days. Keep the manipulative messages, the threatening calls. Retell the story to friends or loved ones, those who witnessed your suffering, so they can help you preserve that truth. Because memory is not only for remembering, it is also for warning. Awareness means you look at the entire picture. You don't just choose the bright fragments and discard the dark ones. It means you don't run from the truth that you were once used, belittled, and stripped of self-worth. And precisely because you dare to face it, you can rise again with genuine strength. You need an inner warning system so that whenever they come back, you don't see an opportunity, you see a cycle. You don't hear a new promise. You hear the echo of hundreds of old promises that already dissolved. You don't see a repentant soul. You see the same actor playing the same role in a never-ending play. When you maintain awareness and nurture active memory, you no longer need distance as your only protection. Because even if they show up, even if they try to reach you, you already carry an invisible shield, the truth engraved in your heart. Remember this, the narcissist does not fear your silence. They fear your awareness. Because once you are awake, there is no way for them to reach you, neither through sweet words nor through painful tricks. 5. The deeper lesson. When people talk about no contact, many think simply, cut communication, and that's it. But the truth is not that simple. The deeper lesson lies here. No contact is not the ultimate goal, but a mirror reflecting yourself back to you. You don't leave just to escape a person. You leave to reclaim the part of your worth that was stolen within you. If you see no contact as a wall, then within that wall you have the responsibility to rebuild your inner home. Because if you don't heal, if you don't nurture awareness, then one day, when memories fade, you might be the one who opens the door for the narcissist to return, and the cycle will continue. The lesson is this. Freedom does not come from walking away from someone else. It comes from daring to choose yourself. You cannot control the narcissist. They may return, they may lie, they may play the victim. But you can control yourself, how you respond, how you hold your boundaries, how you refuse to trade your self-respect for a counterfeit love. Remember, they are not afraid of losing you. What they fear is you realizing that you never needed them to be happy. When you stop believing that your worth lies in their gaze, when you understand that love never comes with humiliation or pain, that is the moment you take back your power. No contact, after all, is not a strategic victory. It is a spiritual journey. It reminds you that silence is not just emptiness, but a space to learn how to listen to yourself. It teaches you that real love never asks you to forget your worth. It carves into your soul a simple truth. Those who truly deserve to stay in your life will never need to be locked out in order for you to have peace. So, the deepest lesson is this. Don't just cut off, become aware. Don't just stay silent, grow. Don't just leave them, return to yourself. Once you understand this, you no longer fear their return, because yes, they may knock, but the door will no longer be open for them. It opens only for you, for the strongest, wisest, and freest version of yourself. When a narcissist comes back after a period of silence, what they seek is not love, not reconciliation, but a chance to test whether they still hold power over you. And it is in that very moment that you see the true value of the no-contact journey. It is not merely about cutting ties, but about measuring the inner strength you've built for yourself. If you are awake, you will no longer need an apology to feel whole. You will no longer wait for recognition to believe in your worth. And you will no longer tremble at sweet promises or fabricated tears. You will stand firm not in coldness, but in peace, not in hatred, but in clarity. Understand this. The greatest victory over a narcissist does not lie in making them regret, but in no longer being controlled by them. They may try every tactic to return from charm to accusations to playing the victim. But if you have truly grown, you will no longer need to prove, to react, or to argue. Your silence and serenity are already the strongest answers. And if there is one message I want you to carry with you after watching this video, it is this. True freedom does not come from cutting someone off, it comes from choosing yourself. You no longer need anyone to define your worth. You don't need permission to be happy, and you don't need to go back to the one who once hurt you just to prove your heart still knows how to love. The day you realize you are complete without them is the day the narcissist loses you forever, not because you hate them, but because you have learned to love yourself more than anyone else ever could. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, do I really want to reopen the door that once broke me? Or am I ready to step into a new chapter, one where I am the center, not them? If you are on the path of healing, remember, you are not alone. This community is here to walk with you, to remind you that you deserve a kinder love, a freer life, and a brighter future. If what you heard today resonates with you, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and join me as we continue uncovering truths, healing wounds, and building a life where manipulation has no place. Leave a comment and share your story, because your voice may be the light for someone else. You are stronger than you think. And from this moment forward, walk without looking back, because ahead of you is a new self, free, clear, and whole.